It's Wolf, and it's a stream. It is Forza Horizon 6. I would mentioned on the last stream that I was gonna maybe stream this like the day it came out, but I actually didn't get it the day it came out. I got it the day afterwards. Sorry if you guys hear my chair creaking a bunch. My cat has decided to sit right where I need to scoot my chair to. Let me make sure everything is all good. Okay. Everything seems to be good. I've been enjoying Forza Horizon 6. I have a lot to talk about on the stream actually, so I'll be talking later on a little bit probably about my actual impressions of like Forza Horizon 6. Apologies if I sound like a little bit stuffy tonight. I don't think I do, but pretty much seasonal allergies where I live are abysmal this year. Like the worst I've ever seen it. Um because we didn't get like any rain until just recently, and then as it turns out, rain alongside helping with washing pollen away actually can make seasonal allergies worse for a little while when it shows up, because apparently it can kick a bunch of stuff up into the air. So that's great. But anyway, yeah, I had to go outside today. But before I go any further, so I want to mention this stream I have like a lot of like stuff to talk about, and there's like a couple of like more serious things, so I just want to warn you guys that like there's a couple of like more serious topics that I want to talk about. But first, before I really get too deep into anything, playing a racing game and everything, I feel like it's like sometimes I feel weird to say like stuff about like big things that have happened, because like I'm a small streamer, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's like what it's hard to explain. Sometimes when you have such like a small presence online or in the world in general, sometimes it's like, well, should I really say anything about that? Will it seem like it's coming across the wrong way? But I wanted to take a minute to just say that if you guys haven't heard, I'm sure most of you probably have, Kyle Busch, the NASCAR driver, passed away a few days ago. Um, and I've never really talked about NASCAR or anything on my channel because I don't really follow NASCAR very much. But I had heard of Kyle Busch. I've definitely seen his races and stuff. My dad was a big NASCAR fan. I remember watching NASCAR races with him when I was younger and stuff. And I just feel like as a fan of car racing in general, and as like an American, I just wanted to mention that it's really sad. Like I don't, I mean, I know that that's like obvious, I guess. But I also wanted to kind of use it as a minute to just say like, so what Kyle Busch had passed away from, if you guys hadn't heard, he ended up having what sounds like a sinus infection. The Wikipedia page said a sinus cold, that ended up developing into pneumonia and then sepsis. And I think that it's important that it's an important reminder to like everybody that if you don't feel good and you continue to like not feel good when you get sick, like it is important to go see a doctor. I know that that's like another thing that sounds really obvious, but living in the US, like sickness has become almost politicized in some ways. But like seriously, if you get sick and like you don't feel better, it is important to go see a doctor. I know that there can be a lot of situations, like this might sound insane for anybody who's outside of the US, but I know that there's a lot of situations where like if you feel sick, sometimes you can have people who are pushing you to like not go see a doctor, or sometimes it can be worrying if like you don't have the best insurance or whatever. Um but health comes first. Like health is important. And also, as somebody who has like gotten sick a lot of times, especially like I talk about it a lot when I was in grad school and stuff, this kind of like opened my eyes a little bit to how quickly things can progress. Because I got sick pretty bad when I was in grad school a couple times, and like I just kind of now realize how lucky I probably was that I didn't end up with pneumonia or something worse. And so I just wanted to kind of take a minute to say that. I know I probably didn't word that the best, but it's sad because I feel like we really kind of did lose like a racing icon. Kyle Busch is sort of a household name in the US. As I said, I really don't even follow NASCAR that much, and when I heard that he had passed away, I knew exactly who he was and everything. Um, and so yeah, the racing world has really taken a hit with his loss. But that's I know that that's like like I said, it's kind of a sad thing, and I wanted to say something about it though, because I felt like it was inappropriate, like to not say anything about it. Like I said, as somebody who plays racing games a lot, as an American, kind of, because NASCAR really is something that is so like embedded in American culture. Oh, that's a nice Lancer. I'm driving a Lancer right now too. But yeah, I know this is not like the best segue away from that, but I'm gonna scoot away from that topic because I'm not very good at saying things about like serious things like that. But yeah, so in other news, stepping away from the kind of more serious topic there, some good news is I finally have some time to myself. You guys might even notice that I'm like speaking louder than normal, or that I'm even just doing a stream at like an earlier time of day than I usually do. I meant to do the stream a lot earlier today, but then my day got screwed up. The last couple days have been actually kind of really weird for me. Um, but yeah, so most of my family has gone on a little vacation, and you know, somebody had to stay home to take care of the pets, so I have a little bit of a staycation that I'm on, which is really nice. And that's another thing, like I have some more serious stuff to talk about in terms of like like my life, um but I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, I have the house mostly to myself though, which is awesome. I don't really know if like I'll be able to work on a ton of stuff for the channel, but I have a video scheduled out that's coming out this week already, and I'd like to take some of the peace and quiet time to get some stuff done. But aside from just stuff on the channel, I definitely plan on working on some stuff that will, like, improve, like, my household, and then subsequently will make it easier for me to make videos, because, like, stuff will be cleaned up. Long story short, I want to clean a lot while, like, my family is away. Um, but yeah, so it's just nice. It's nice to have some time to myself. I really haven't had like the house to myself in like 2 years or so. I think the last time that I had the house fully to myself was when I got my Mac Studio. I remember like it kind of sucked actually. I got sick. And then like my family was like I got sick like the day that my family was leaving to go on a trip, or most of my family was leaving to go on a trip. Um and so I remember that morning feeling kind of off, and then by the end of the day being like, oh, I don't feel so good. But they'd already gone. But it was kind of good because, like, sometimes, like, you know, you don't want people to worry about you too much. Although I guess that kind of goes against what I was saying earlier. Like I said, if you're sick and you don't start feeling better, see a doctor. Um, but okay, we got a stunt job. I'm probably, at least in the beginning part of the stream, just gonna go and do some of like the random challenges around the map, because I've been hearing, one of the complaints that I've been hearing with Forza Horizon 6 is that apparently you can actually end up playing all of the races and still not having enough. I need a faster car for this. I absolutely need a faster car for this. You can actually end up playing through like all of the oh wait, no, I didn't mean to cancel. You can actually end up playing through all of the races and still not gaining enough XP to get into Legends Island and stuff, which is really strange. So I figured I would take some time and do some of these side challenges and stuff. Let me find. Even though this is kind of off-road, I've found one of my favorite cars in this game so far, even though it was kind of the cover car for not Gran Turismo, Forza Horizon 5, but it's the AMG GT, I think it's the GT1? I don't remember exactly what it is. Anyway, even though this jump is kind of off-road, I've found that for some of these jumps, even using a street car, like just to get a ton of speed beforehand, is a good idea. Also, I don't have this in track mode. I need to put this in track mode. But yeah, so I have a lot of cleaning that I need to do. Even right now, I'm like doing a bunch of laundry. So I've already gotten kind of started on that. I kind of really don't want to go anywhere over my little staycation because, for one, today I know it already. And I did have to go out today a little bit, but I know that like tomorrow is gonna be insane because it's Memorial Day here in the U.S. And Memorial Day is like a bank holiday here. I know that there's a lot of countries out there that have like similar holidays to Memorial Day, but it's kind of like a remembrance day for like POW, MIA, KIA like soldiers. But a lot of people have the day off of work, and I remember when I had my old job, we didn't get the day off of work, and it was always insane on Memorial Day. So I kind of really don't want to go anywhere tomorrow. So I've stocked up on some food and stuff. And looking forward to just kind of staying inside and getting stuff done around the house. I have a lot to do. One of like my main two goals for the next few days are I want to I have a bunch of games that I bought a while ago, and I've talked about it a little bit. A bunch of games that I bought a while ago that I've never like cleaned off. I have my whole little cleaning process. I've talked about it before, but which I know like some people think I'm kind of crazy or OCD about cleaning my games, but seriously, as I've said before, I implore you to take a look at some of your used games or some of the used games at a game store, and just like pull the insert out of the case and just look at how gross it is. So I have a ton of those that I haven't cleaned yet that I want to clean. I also need to vacuum. Those are the main two things. My cat's fur, I think, is kind of starting to get to my nose a little bit from just being like stuck into the carpet. So I might need to redo this one. 1 star, 2 star. Yeah, I gotta redo that one. Yeah, though, I want to do that. I already today did a bunch of laundry, did a bunch of dishes, went and got some of the last groceries that I needed. I actually went grocery shopping a few days ago, but then there were like a handful of things that I didn't quite get, so I had to go back out today, which I was kind of wanting to avoid, but didn't really quite get to avoid that. Still only 2 stars. 4 miles an hour more. Yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to mention. So, well, okay. So something that I've been debating talking about a little bit, because I feel kind of weird talking about it, but also at the same point, like nobody in my family watches my streams or anything. So, you know, I've talked before, and this is going to be a little bit of a more serious part of the stream again. I've talked before, like a number of times, about like how throughout the time that I've had this channel, there's been a lot of periods where it's been like hard for me to work on videos or just find time to do anything in general, really. And it was like at first it was because I was in high school, and then I was in college, and then I was in grad school, and like I had a crappy job for a while there too, and that was keeping me busy. And then I had that job recently that I just left like a couple weeks ago, or I guess like over a month at this point ago. So there's always been stuff that's like always kind of made it hard for me to make videos. And I've mentioned before that sometimes my family can be a little bit hard to get things done around. And so I kind of wanted to get it off my chest a little bit talking about that. So okay. I have family that lives with me, and then I have some family that lives near me. And in particular, just straight up, I really don't get along with my grandparents on my mom's side of the family very much. I get along really well with my grandparents on my dad's side of the family, although that's my granddad passed away a while ago, so now it's just my granny. I get along with her really well. I used to get along really well with my granddad. That's the granny that I went to visit like a while ago, and I mentioned that on stream and stuff, and I had a really nice visit with her. But my grandparents on my mom's side, I've just really never fully gotten along with, and I need to swap to a better car. Hang on. Although is this off road? Yes. So I need like a rally car. Sorry, I know this is like weird to be interrupting myself talking about like serious things with like, oh, what car do I need? Let's do this Ford. So what I was saying though, I've never really quite gotten along with my grandparents on my mom's side of the family, and that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for me sometimes to do things around my house. So first I guess I'll mention my grandpa, because he doesn't actually live with us. My grandpa doesn't live with me, but he lives nearby. And the main reason why I really don't get along with him is because he's always been a really just miserable person. Like my mom didn't really have the greatest upbringing between him and my grandma. He's just always been mean, I guess, is like the easiest way to say it. He's always kind of had like a general miserable attitude. To be honest, like now that I'm an adult and I know more things about life, I kind of think he has like maybe some issues with like social anxiety and stuff, because where does this start? because like sometimes the way he acts almost can be explained like that or whatever, but of course that's not like an excuse. um okay, that's where the drift sound starts. But the other thing too is that like over the past few years in particular with him, he's really fallen really hard into like the MAGA like Republican like stuff. And I'm not gonna get like into politics necessarily, but I've got to say that like he just kind of regurgitates stuff that he hears on like conservative radio shows and things like that. And um like if not even if you're in the US, if you have any like even like a small idea of American politics, you will know that some of the people, well, a lot of the people who have kind of fallen into the MAGA stuff are just kind of insane. They don't really live in reality anymore. They never really necessarily did. But so my grandpa has definitely kind of fallen into that, and as somebody who actually has been like outside and like seen the world and stuff, it's very frustrating for me to be around him, because he just has such ignorance about literally everything. Um, he like firmly believes that every country outside of the US is a communist country. Like I swear to God that he thinks when I was in England that like when I would go to a grocery store and stuff that I would like have to get like, you know, um hang on, I'm trying to think. I had a good example of like I'm pretty sure he thought when I was going to the grocery store I was getting like, you know, Comrade cheddar cheese and stuff. Like I think he literally didn't think that England had like a free economy. He doesn't really think anywhere has a free economy actually, except for the US. It's really kind of absurd to listen to him talk, given that he knows that I've lived outside of the country and I've told him like all sorts of stories about like living outside of the country. Given that he's met my girlfriend, who is not even American. Um, yeah, it's I just I don't know what to say about it, but it's in some ways though, like since I don't actually live with him, it's not horrible because I don't have to deal with his nonsense. But the other thing too is when he visits, he kind of he expects everybody to do everything for him. He's always sort of been that way. He's very helpless about a lot of stuff, or at least like chooses to be helpless about a lot of stuff. My mom and I end up having to do a lot for him. When he moved down to the area that we live in a couple years ago, because we had moved down here first, my mom and I had to do like all of the work pretty much for him. My mom had to like scout out houses for him and stuff when he visited. I had to drive him around to some of the houses that he wanted to look at. My mom had to do all of the like paperwork and stuff for him. So there was a lot of that. And sorry, I have kind of the hiccups. I ate some Wingstop earlier, and I like Wingstop, but whew, it does not agree with my tummy. Like I know it doesn't, but man, it is good. So anyway, though, what I was saying, so like when he moved down here, we had to do like all of that stuff for him, and that's why I've been saying that like I kind of almost think it's like some sort of weird social anxiety thing that causes him to be this way, because like he literally just doesn't want to do anything by himself. But anyway, that's enough talking about my grandpa, because the main issue here that I kind of wanted to talk about. So my grandma lives with me and my mom and you know other family members and stuff. And she has kind of been one of the reasons why it's so hard. I want to try to get at least 2 stars on this. Hang on, sorry. Okay, I think there we go. She has been like kind of one of the reasons why it's been so hard for me to work on stuff for the past few years. So I'm trying to think of how to explain this. My grandma doesn't really think. I know that might sound kind of like really mean, but it's actually true. I really don't know what's wrong with her, but something seems to be wrong. My grandma has always kind of not really paid attention to anything. It's and like I feel like I'm maybe like people might think I'm exaggerating when I say this, but like my grandma really doesn't think. Like to the point where when I've described it to like other people, sometimes like, you know, when I've described it to friends and stuff or like other members of my family, they've been like, does she have dementia? And it's like, yeah, maybe, but at the same point, she has like always been this way. Like she's kind of always had this issue. And so subsequently, my grandma doesn't really pay attention to anything, but also talks all the time, and also gets really also grumpy very fast. Her and my grandpa kind of generally fit into a lot of the like boomer stereotypes, like negative boomer stereotypes. Um, but anyway, what I wanted to say was so long story short, it's really hard to live with my grandma because she too kind of wants me and my mom and like others to do everything for her. She has when we moved to where we live now, she used to be actually relatively active and like in sort of good health. But when we moved to where we live now, she kind of stopped doing anything. She sort of stopped walking as much as possible. She started using like the ride on carts at like grocery stores and stuff like that. She like goes through drive-throughs exclusively now. Like she really doesn't want to walk at all. And I think now that she's actually kind of almost lost the ability to walk because she was doing that. And the thing is, like, I know that there's probably some people that are like, well, Wolf, you know, she's older, like maybe she just couldn't walk that well to begin with. But no, she could walk fine when we moved here, and then she like just randomly decided to just stop walking and stop using stairs and stuff. Um, so that's one thing. And so there's a lot of like every time I leave my room, kind of like can you get this for me? Can you do that for me? This and that. But also the whole thing with her being so talkative all the time, but not paying attention to anything. She pretty much will just ask you a billion questions. Whenever you are within her vicinity, does not really matter the surrounding situation. There were times when I would come home from work when I was at my previous job where it would be like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., even like midnight. I think one time I came home from work at like 1 a.m. because I had to stay late for something or the other. And she like heard me come home, popped up, and just started, how's your day? How's this? And the thing is, it's not even like that you mind like the questions like that, but it's just when you get bombarded with questions or when you get bombarded with like random questions about stuff, because she'll like ask random things from like 4 days ago without prefacing it that she's saying anything about that. Like you could be in the middle of a conversation and she'll be like, so how was that soda? And you're like, what soda? She was like, oh, the new one you tried like a week ago. It's like, well, it was good, but I didn't know you were talking about the soda that I tried a week ago. So there's a lot of that. And so it's actually almost hard to focus when you have somebody around you that is like bombarding you like that with questions all the time. And to be honest with you, I actually think that that is part of the reason why I've been having migraines, and like part of, yeah, like I think that's part of the reason why I've been having migraines so much is because getting talked at constantly like that, and also the fact that she doesn't pay attention to anything and will ask you about the same things like repeatedly. And the thing is, it's like, oh well, you know, again, like dementia, maybe she's not remembering, but she does. If you mention that like she already asked you what it was, she'll be like, oh yeah, I remember what you said, and she'll be able to tell you what you said, but she just doesn't care or just wants you to repeat it or whatever it might be. I think I needed 90 on that. I only got like 89, I think. And so that makes it really hard for me to kind of concentrate sometimes, and also makes it really hard for me to want to do anything outside of my room because you know, every time I leave my room, I get bombarded with just random lines of questioning. So that's like, that just makes it tough to do anything. And so that's part of the reason why I was saying I want to get a lot of stuff done around the house, because I'm not going to get bombarded with questions constantly like that. And so the other thing too is also like she's very demanding about stuff. You know, we got 2 stars. It's fine. I don't feel like dealing with this one. She's also very demanding about stuff, particularly because she doesn't really want to do anything herself. So since like I live rurally, we have to take the trash ourselves to the dump. I think I mentioned that before. That's like one of the things that it feels like almost every day she's like, hey, you gotta take the trash. And I'm like, no, I don't. The bag's only half full. I'm not gonna take it today. And the other thing too is another one of my grandma's kind of interesting quirks is she refuses to use normal dishes. She doesn't want to use normal plates or cups or anything. So but then also subsequently, whenever she cooks, she somehow uses like every single dish in the house. So it it ends up being that I have to take our trash probably way more than I normally would have to, like if she just used normal utensils and stuff, because she refuses to use any of the normal stuff, and that all piles up in the trash. But then subsequently, since she uses literally every cooking thing, the dishes are constantly also dirty. So that also takes away a lot of just time in my day. Oh no, this speed zone. Ooh, the speed zone is not going very well. Um, so yeah. Oh wow, I got 3 stars on that. So yeah, anyway, I feel like I've kind of made my point. I don't want to make the whole stream just me rambling about my grandparents, but I've always kind of been like, at least for the past few years, this is the thing that I've been having to deal with. And I always, in terms of talking about my real life on the channel, I'm always kind of like hesitant about it, but then sometimes I sort of reach a breaking point with things where I'm like, I gotta get this off my chest. Like, I don't want to beat around the bush with it anymore, and I just want to explain like what is going on in my life, because it's kind of therapeutic too in some ways. um but yeah, so that is a thing that I've been dealing with for a while that has been like just really frustrating. Just both of my grandparents being, just like I said, just really the stereotypes of problematic boomers. Like, I don't mean to say that, and like not every person who's a boomer is like a bad person or anything, but when you think of like the stereotypes of like the problematic annoying boomer, my grandparents really fit into that category. And I just I just wanted to mention it. Plus, I figure by mentioning it, maybe, like, I know that this is a really common thing actually that a lot of people have to deal with. I figure maybe by mentioning it, maybe somebody who watches my stream will have some sort of advice on how to deal with this kind of thing. Um, but yeah, that's all I want to talk about. I could have talked for like hours probably about that. Um, but yeah, so that's just one of the things that makes it hard sometimes for me to work on anything. Um, yeah, trying to think of other stuff to talk about now. Now that I got that off my chest. Um, well, man, I had, okay, not to continue on like the annoying like bad course of thought, but man, I had a kind of crappy day the other day. I've been kind of screwed up the last couple days because the other night I ended up actually straight up not getting any sleep, which really sucked. It actually kind of ruined like 2 days. So there was a arcade near me that was doing a big event, and my mom and I were actually going to go to it because they were doing it. It looked cool, and they also were doing like the first however many people to get there got like free credits to play the games for like, it was, I think it was just like a big amount of, it was either, I don't remember exactly what the ad said, it was a big amount of credits or it was like free credits for like a year or whatever it was. Hang on, before I finish that story, I have to go wipe my nose. My nose is running. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so my mom and I were supposed to go to that thing at that arcade, and I ended up, like, the night before I had taken a nap, and that can screw up your sleep, because if you take a nap like too close to when you're gonna go to bed, then you won't be able to fall asleep. So that's sort of what happened. It was a combo of, I think, taking that nap and then also like being kind of excited to go to that arcade and like check out that event and stuff. That I just literally didn't sleep at all. I don't remember like falling asleep at all that night. And so I woke up the next morning, and I was really tired, and I kind of told my mom that, but I felt like okay-ish. I mean, there were times when I had my old job still where like I would have days where like I barely got any sleep, and I would still go to work and do all the work and everything because I didn't really have a choice. Um, so I did I only get 2 stars on that? So my mom was still kind of like, well, let's go, or I can drive. I can drive us there. If you're too tired to drive, you can take a nap in the car or whatever. So I felt okay to drive though. And long story short, I ended up, I think I kind of like freaked myself out a little bit because I was so tired. Started feeling real anxious about it. And yeah, it sucks. It kind of ruined the day. We actually didn't end up going because I was like, I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm way, way too tired for this. And I'm way too anxious about it, which sucks. Like, I don't know for sure if I have some sort of anxiety disorder now or whatever, but ever since I had that whole thing with that panic attack or whatever during that ice storm a while ago, I've felt more anxious about just everything all the time. But yeah, it sucks because like I got all worked up and then like that tired me out real bad, and we didn't do anything. My mom was like, okay, well let's not go to that arcade, but maybe let's just go get breakfast or something. And I just needed to go home and just kind of lay down. So it just sucked. I really didn't do anything. And then it like really exhausted me too, because whenever you get like anxiety stuff like that, it can really like mess with your like energy levels. Um, but yeah, so that was my last couple of days. But finally, like today I felt pretty good. I went and did my shopping. Went and I got some Wingstop earlier. I think I mentioned that. That was nice. And now I'm all stocked up and ready to just hang out. I had a pretty cool afternoon earlier today. I ended up watching. I was watching. What was it? First. Okay, Jordan. I actually was watching. I watched a cricket match. I finally figured out how cricket works. I think I mentioned that last stream that I had figured that out. And I really enjoy watching it now. So I watched like the tail end of a cricket match, and then EuroLeague basketball. I didn't even realize it was the final, but the final match today was going on. So I ended up just kind of watching that and eating Wingstop, which was nice. Um, and then yeah, I cleaned a bunch of dishes, did a bunch of laundry. I actually bought some laundry sanitizer because I always am talking about like, oh, got sick or felt like I was gonna get sick, etc., etc. And so there's been a part of me that's been like, maybe I should try to use some laundry sanitizer on some of my stuff because like maybe there's a chance that I was sick at some point and something's like still lingering on some of my laundry. Um, so I used a little bit of that, but I had to be careful with it because we have a septic tank, and so you're not supposed to like put that stuff down the septic tank, at least not too often. So yeah, it was kind of a pain to get it all to work because I actually had to use it in like a bucket. But yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow to get a lot more done. I really tired myself out today, running around and like buying like all the last groceries that I wanted to get and stuff. But then also, um, why are you over there? Buying those last groceries and stuff. But then all the bit of cleaning that I did today already, I exhausted myself. Um, but yeah, I haven't even talked about Forza Horizon 6 at all on the stream, so I should probably do that. So that's the game that I've been playing. It came out about a week ago, a little bit under a week ago. I was looking forward to it quite a bit. Even though I don't play like a ton of Xbox, I really like Forza Horizon. It's one of my favorite racing game series. Um, and I don't think I've ever played one on launch day. So my girlfriend had gotten me a gift card for Best Buy, and I've heard rumors before that Best Buy, like sometimes if you order from Best Buy, you can get the game like a little bit early. When I had pre-ordered Mind's Eye, I had actually pre-ordered that from Best Buy as well, which I know, like, weird pre-order, because Mind's Eye was, like, notoriously bad, but I knew it was going to be bad, and I still wanted to play it. Um, but so I pre-ordered from Best Buy, and the game didn't get here until the day after release, though, which kind of sucked. And Best Buy also uses FedEx for shipping, and I don't really have anything against FedEx, but it's like I've it's happened before where FedEx's tracking is not that great. It seems like it doesn't really tell you as many steps as like UPS or USPS or any of the other ones. Um, so I don't know. I think I might avoid pre-ordering from Best Buy in the future. Honestly, it's not even that I might pre-order or avoid order. Oh my God, I can't talk. It's not even necessarily that I'm going to avoid pre-ordering from Best Buy, but I think I'm going to avoid pre-ordering things um, that are going to be shipped, because I've noticed that can be kind of an issue, because when you pre-order something that's going to get shipped to you, they have to be like particular about when they send it, because they don't want it to get to you too early. But if you pre-order something in the store, like the games are going to be at the store or whatever a few days in advance anyway, so like it's pretty guaranteed that you'll be able to pick up the game you pre-ordered on the day that it comes out. So I had tried to like do the online pre-order thing just to see if I ever got anything early, or if I ever got anything like early in the morning, because Best Buy and like GameStop and stuff don't open until like 10, I think. Um, so, but yeah, no, it never really has quite worked out that way. So I think in-person pre-orders from now on. But nonetheless, once I did get the game, I actually, well, I haven't really played it a ton. I mean, I've gotten a couple wristbands in and like done one or two of the Forza stories or whatever it is. Um, but I've really just been playing it a lot in short bursts because I really haven't gotten the time to. And I had a headache like the other day too. Again, like I said, migraine disorder, possibly, and also the fact that my grandma never shuts up. Which, anyway, um, but so is it raining? It sounded like it was raining. It's been very rainy where I live lately, which is nice, but also, like I said, I think in some ways it's actually making my allergies a little bit worse. But so yeah, I've been playing the game though, and I do enjoy it, but this game does feel kind of weird compared to some of the other Forza Horizon games. For one, it feels like they've put less of a cultural emphasis in this game, whereas Forza Horizon 4 and 5 and like a little bit of 3 felt like they really kind of tried to, they kind of stepped outside of just racing. There was a lot of stuff with like oh, I could have done this in a far faster vehicle. I might need, yeah, I'm gonna need to redo this one. Um, there was like, especially Forza Horizon 5, there was like a lot of like Forza, oh, didn't mean to press that button. There's a lot of like Forza stories and stuff. I actually played through most of that game without even doing like any traditional races. But this one, it just feels like a lot of that is missing. There's also really not any like collaborative stuff that I've seen. Forza Horizon 4 had like a Top Gear collaboration. Horizon 5 had a Donut Media collaboration. I haven't seen anything like that in this game. Um, there's a couple of car manufacturers that are missing. It seems like there was a handful of Chinese cars that had popped up in Forza Horizon 5 that don't really seem present in this game, which is a little bit surprising, honestly, because I mean, Japan is not China, but it is in Asia, so you would kind of think that if they were going to put Chinese cars in a game, although, well, I don't know for sure, because I know that like Japan and China have some like not great history or whatever, so I don't know if there's Chinese cars in Japan, whereas I know there's Chinese cars in Mexico. But yeah, I don't know. This game just, it almost feels like there's less of it compared to the other Forza Horizon games that I played. Um, and I also don't really understand like the way that the XP stuff works in this game, because it feels like there's like 3 different types of XP. Um, yeah, I guess overall, like I feel like they tried to experiment with stuff in this game, but at the same point, it just feels emptier than the other games. Also, somehow the map feels a lot smaller. I don't know if that's like true or not. I don't think it is. I'm assuming that the map is bigger, but it feels smaller than the other games did. Um yeah, so that being said, I have enjoyed it a lot though. I'm not like sometimes like I play a game and it's good, but I'm like, oh, should I have really spent 60 or now $70 on it? But honestly, this game I do feel is still worth the money, but it also just feels like there's not as much as other Forza Horizon games. Um, so I guess keep that in mind if you're gonna buy it. Um, yeah, and also even like the Forza stories that are in this game don't really feel as in depth. At least the ones that I've played through. Sorry, I have to go wipe my nose again. Now my other nostril feels like it's got a booger stuck in it. I'm back. I'm getting kind of hungry, and I'm debating on what I want to eat for dinner. I kind of want to try to make stuff at home while I'm on my little staycation, just cause like I really don't eat at home enough, and that's not good. Uh, and also like my girlfriend, my lovely, wonderful girlfriend, she's been trying to convince me to eat more at home, and she's right. I do need to eat more at home. So I've been trying to like do some stuff like that, and also I just don't really feel like going out. So the only things that I wanted to eat out for sure while I'm on my staycation were Wingstop, and then depending on if I go near, there's this one Greek restaurant that has really immaculate sandwiches. If I end up near there, I might go there, but honestly, it's kind of far away. I don't really know if I feel like driving that far. So that's probably like that's unlikely, I think, at this point. But we'll see how I feel in a couple days if I feel like going and doing that. Yeah, I'm really not that hungry today though. The Wingstop that I had earlier was really good. But I ate like a lot of it, so I'm still pretty full. But I'm starting to get hungry, and I'm debating. I got like a lot of like snack items, so I'm kind of thinking I might just snack. It is nice to like use the living room TV though, because again, not to jump back to complaining about my grandparents, but that's one of the things that I don't really usually get to do, because even though it's not like my grandma necessarily hogs the living room TV, but if I'm in the living room, she's going to talk to me so much that I won't be able to focus on whatever I'm watching. So I don't often watch things in the living room, but the living room TV is the one that has the most stuff hooked up to it. So, yeah, like when I was watching EuroLeague basketball and stuff earlier, that was nice. So, I don't know. I think we probably have a membership to something that has like baseball, if there's any baseball games on tonight. And if not, I've been really enjoying Kisasaru Cat's Eye on Netflix. So maybe watch some of that. That's a really good show, by the way. If you're like me and you like kind of like quirky shows, there's a good chance you would like Kisasaru Cat's Eye, or also Ikebukuro Westgate Park. They're really similar. Some of the actors are the same, and I want to say like the director is the same or something. I don't fully remember the relationships those shows have, but both are really good shows. I kind of like Kisasaru Cat's Eye more though, because it's a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit I kind of prefer in some ways shows that don't really have like a huge overarching story. Kizazaru Cat's Eye has an overarching story, but it's kind of like problem of the week. Whereas Ikebukuro Westgate Park kind of has like a really strong central focus, which is not bad. I know some people like that. But I kind of like it when shows are like bite-sized. I might do another stream at some point as well. I don't really know when, but I've had a stream idea, and I figure while I have all this free time on my staycation, that I might try to do the one idea that I've had for a stream. I might try to work on some videos. I don't really have a lot of like talking or tutorial video ideas right now. I kind of cleared out all of those. I've got a few, but I really want to work on some playthroughs just because the playthrough channel has been doing so good. Oh, speaking of that, I want to mention Wolfie, this channel is finally at 999 subscribers. So I only need one more subscriber to hit 1,000, which has been like a huge goal on this channel ever since I started it. Originally, it was because like I've talked about the story before, but the abridged version is when I started the channel, you didn't need to meet any requirements for monetization. So I had applied for it and I got it. And actually, like, even though I wasn't really getting that many views, I remember I like made a cent like a couple months after I started the channel, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, even with barely any views, I've made a little bit of money. And then they changed the regulations on it. You had to meet all sorts of like requirements and stuff, and the main one at first was 1,000 subscribers. And so that kind of became a central focus on the channel, and now we're almost there. The thing is, YouTube has changed some of the regulations around a couple times now, so like now
you can actually get monetized at 500 subscribers and like 3,000 watch hours for some stuff, but to get like normal like advertisement monetized, you have to still hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. This channel still actually needs quite a few watch hours. So even though like we're about to hit 1,000 subscribers, it's still gonna take a while before I can actually make any money from the channel. I think unless people just start watching my videos a ton. Every now and again, when I've had a really like a video do really good, my watch time is like blown up. But it's that you have to have those hours within the past year, and so like I haven't really had a video blow up in a while, and so my watch hours are not doing too pristine right now. um, but yeah, for 1,000 subscribers, I've been trying to think of like if there's anything special that I want to do. I know for one, I've talked about it before, but make a video explaining Todd and Thomas the socks that I wear on my hands when I do the real life video stuff every now and again. Um, and I'll probably do like a general update video, but I haven't really had a ton of ideas. So if there's anything in particular that like you guys want to see for 1,000 subscribers, or like if there's any questions that you guys have, maybe I could do like a little Q&A or something. Maybe like I could, because I don't think I would have a ton of questions for it, but like if there is questions that you guys have for me about anything, about my channel, my real life, whatever it is, feel free to like comment them somewhere on the channel, and I'll probably see them. And then like maybe if I do like an update video or whatever, then I can mention some of that stuff. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream here soon. I know that I kind of just rambled for a pretty long time. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to talk about what I've been up to, and then also like kind of get some of the stuff off my chest with the whole complaining about my grandparents thing. Um, but yeah, that was only two. Jeez, how far do I gotta jump? Um, yeah, I think I'll probably do like one more. Do another jump, and then I'll probably end the stream. Trying to think if there's anything else that I've been working on to tell you guys about, but not really. Once I finally get some of these games and stuff cleaned off, I might have some interesting video ideas, because there's a bunch of stuff in the like 5 piles of things that I need to clean, that I've totally already forgotten that I even bought. But yeah. Hang on, I gotta go wipe my nose again. God, this is so annoying. Okay, I'm back. I was thinking about something while I was blowing my nose. you know, I was saying about like taking care of the household pets and stuff. I used to get kind of really stressed out for a long time about having to take care of my mom's dog when she wasn't here, because her dog is like very anxious about not being around her. What car is that? Is that a Pagani? LMP. Oh, it's a Gordon Murray. I didn't really mean to do a head-to-head, but I was just curious what the car was. But so anyway, what I was saying, much to my surprise, my mom's dog has actually calmed down like a lot over the past year. She's getting older now, but I really wasn't sure she would ever like calm down, because she's been a very rambunctious dog the entire time we've had her. But yeah, over the past year, she actually has like started to kind of at her age, which is sort of sad, because it means she's getting older and everything. But she's a lot more like subdued now, which is nice. She still gets kind of worked up about stuff, but um I'm hoping that like, because something that she used to do, which I'm not super concerned about now since I don't have like a job that I got to go to right now. But something that she used to do was, there was like a year where my mom kept having to go on business trips, like constantly. Like every month she was going on a business trip for like a week. And her dog would like, the first night, sometimes the first 2 nights she was gone, her dog wouldn't like quiet. Like her dog would just yip like all night. And I couldn't ever really figure out what exactly to do. Because she would just yip, and like I would try to like take her out, and she would just like want to wander around in front of the house and just stare off in the distance and stuff. And so pretty sure it was like an anxiety thing about my mom being away. And like a lot of the times I would actually end up having to give her she's such a rambunctious dog that we have like the like medicine, like the, not really medicine, the pills that you can give her to calm her down for like vet visits and stuff. And so I'd have to give her like one of those to get her to chill out for the night. But yeah, I'm hoping, I don't think she's gonna do that now, which would be nice, because that used to, oh god, I used to get so frustrated with that. What? Failed it. I used to get so frustrated with that, because like sometimes she would literally be, it'd be 2 in the morning or whatever, and she would just be out in the living room just yipping. And like I get it, you know, like it's like, you know, I'm sad when my mom's away too, but it sucked because she like wouldn't let me sleep, and I would be like, dude, I gotta go to work tomorrow, like I gotta get sleep. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the stream. I know this one's maybe a little bit of a weird one because I got kind of serious, more serious than normal in it, and talked a little bit more about my real life than normal. But I feel relieved. That was nice. Oh, also I forgot to mention, I got a new keyboard. I found a keyboard on clearance today. Much like my mouse that I got a while ago, it's another Razer product. It's a Razer keyboard. It's not like an especially fancy keyboard, but it was half off. It was like really cheap. And I wanted to get like a newer keyboard anyway, because my old keyboard worked fine, but it wasn't really built for any gaming stuff. So it kind of, the keys would stick and stuff sometimes. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for the stream. Keep an eye out for, I think the next video that I have coming out, like that I have scheduled out, is on Thursday. And then I might work on some other stuff in the meantime. Yeah. And then I might do a stream also with like a specific theme at some point. Anyway, thanks for watching. Also, one more subscriber and then we hit 1,000. So please, if you haven't subscribed, which you've been watching my stuff, please make sure to subscribe.